Student. So this is introductory session of the course titled Chemical Reactor Analysis and Design. So what is chemical reactor analysis and design? Chemical reactor analysis and design, or we can say CRAD, is the field that study the rate and mechanism of chemical reactions and the design of the reactors in which they takes place. So basically it deals with the design of the reactor. So what would be the ideal reactor, what would be the size of the reactor? So we will deal all these things in this course. In a chemical process, it mainly consists of three steps: the pre-treatment step, then the chemical reaction, and then the post-treatment step. In the pre-treatment step, we convert raw material in a form which are suitable for the chemical reaction. It may include size reduction, chemical pre-treatment, etc. Then actually the reaction takes place in this step, and after the reaction we need treatment step. So in post physical treatment step, we separate desired product, and there may be mixture of product after the reaction, so we separate desired and undesired product in the post treatment step. So design of equipment for the physical treatment step is studied in unit operation, and we mainly deal with chemical treatment step in this course. Design of the reactor is no routine matter, and many alternative can be proposed for a process. And one design may have low reactor cost, but the material leaving the unit may be such that their treatment requires a much higher cost than alternative design. Hence, the economy of the overall process must be considered. So these are basic prerequisite for this course. You have the basic knowledge of thermodynamics, how reaction is taking place, and what are their energy states, etc. And you also have knowledge of chemical reaction, or means the chemistry of the reactions and its kinetic, how the rate of reaction is. Then you also have basic knowledge of fluid mechanics, so you can measure whether there is any dead zone in the reactor, or the what is the flow pattern of the reactor. In addition to that, you also have knowledge of heat and mass transfer, especially in multi-phase reactions where there are more than two phases present. So the heat and mass transfer between these two phases are deciding factor for the overall performance of the reactor. And after all, the major thing is economy of overall process. So because the economy of overall process should be minimum, or the cost of the overall process should be minimum. So these are basic requisite for this course. The performance of a reactor is depends on mainly three parameters: the input variables, the contacting pattern, and the kinetic. Input variables include the nature of reactant we use, and the concentration of the reactants, the temperature at which reaction takes place, the pressure of the reacting system, the presence of catalyst, physical state of the reactant like its surface area, and the rate of heat and mass transfer. On the other hand, contacting pattern, or how material flow through and contact each other. Is there any early or late mixing, their clumsiness or state of aggregation, or by their very nature some material are very clumsy, for instance solid and non-colliding liquid droplets. On the other hand, kinetic, or how fast things happens. If the reaction is very fast, then the equilibrium will decide decide what will happen in the reactor, because the reaction is very fast. Whenever the reactant enter into the reactor, it will convert into product and equilibrium reach. So the equilibrium will decide the overall conversion or yield of the product. But if the reaction is not so fast, then the rate of chemical reaction and maybe heat and mass transfer too will determine what will happen. So in performance equation, we can say the output of the reactant will depend upon its input and kinetic and the contacting pattern. This is called the performance equation. With this expression, we can compare different design and conditions, find which is best, and then scale up to larger unit. These reactions can be homogeneous or heterogeneous, and these homogeneous and heterogeneous reactions are further classified as catalytic and non-catalytic reactions. If we consider homogeneous non-catalytic reactions, then these reactions are mostly gas phase reaction. On the other hand, the homogeneous catalytic reactions are mostly liquid phase reaction. In the first term, they are fast reactions such as burning of flame, and the example of catalytic homogeneous reaction is reaction in colloidal system, enzyme and microbial reaction. The example of non-catalytic heterogeneous reactions are burning of coal, roasting of ore, attack of solid by acids, gas liquid absorption with reaction, reduction of iron ore to iron and steel. And the example of catalytic heterogeneous reactions are like ammonia synthesis, oxidation of ammonia for to produce nitric acid, cracking of crude oil, oxidation of sulfur dioxide to sulfur trioxide. So these are the parameter which affect rate of the reaction, like the homogeneous reactions are affected by the temperature, pressure and the composition of the reactant. And these are not the only parameters, there are other parameters also, like the surface area of the reactant, the contacting pattern, and many things which I explained in my previous slides. On the other hand, in heterogeneous reactions, heat and mass transfer also play very important role, because there are more than one phase present. So the rate of mass transfer between these two phases are very important, because it will determine the rate of reactions. There are two different reactants are present in two phases. They interact with each other by mass transfer. By mass transfer, one component move to another phase and then reacts and form product. So rate of mass transfer is also important. On the other hand, the rate of heat transfer between these two phases are play important role. The chemical identity and reaction. When a chemical species is said to have reacted, a chemical species is said to have reacted when it has lost its chemical identity. So there are three ways for a species to lose its identity. They may be through decomposition or combination reaction or isomerization reaction. In decomposition reaction, the larger uh, compound decompose to form a smaller compound. Like in this case, CH3 decompose and it form hydrogen and ethane. On the other hand, in combination reaction, two smaller compound combine with each other and form a larger compound, like nitrogen and oxygen reacts with each other and form nitrogen oxide. In isomerization reaction, there are just restructuring of the compound, like in this example, the double bond is shift from this position to the this position. So these are some of the examples by which a chemical species lose its identity and form product. The reaction rate is the rate at which a species lose its chemical identity per unit volume. Like the rate of reaction can be expressed as either the rate of disappearance of the reactant or the rate of formation of the product, because in a chemical reaction the reactant are disappearing and product is forming. So here you can see the rate of disappearance showing negative sign. This negative sign indicate that there is disappearance of the reactant. On the other hand, in this rate of formation of product is a positive quantity, which indicate that the product is forming. So for example, if we have a reaction in which reactant A is converting into product, so here RA is the rate of formation of species A per unit volume, but A is disappearing, so we take negative sign. So here minus RA. So this minus RA is the rate of a disappearance of species A per unit volume. On the other hand, the B is forming, so the rate will be RB. So this RB is the rate of formation of species B per unit volume. So we use negative sign for disappearance of the reactant or positive sign for formation of a species. There can be various other method for defining the rate equation. For example, in the first case, based on unit volume of the reacting fluid. So in unit volume, this rate Ri will be equal to 1 upon V dNi by dt. So rate is the rate of change of mole of any component A per unit time per unit volume. So as you can see, this is rate of I formed per unit volume per unit time. So the unit of this rate equation will be equal to mole of I formed. So its unit will be mole and volume of fluid. So the unit of volume is meter cube and unit of time is second. So mole per meter cube per second. We can also define rate in terms of mass of solid in solid fluid system. So in that case, the rate will be equal to mole of I form per unit mass per unit time. So its unit will be equal to mole per kg per second. And if there are heterogeneous reaction where two different phase are present, then we can also define reaction rate in terms of surface area or contacting area between two phase. In that case, the rate of reaction will be equal to mole of I form per unit surface area per unit time, and its unit will be equal to mole per meter square per second. We can also define rate equation in term of based on unit volume of solid in gas solid reaction. So in that case, Vs is the volume of solid. In the first case, this Vs indicates the volume of reacting fluid, but in this case we are using Vs as volume of solid. So we are defining rate of reaction in terms of volume of solid. So again the unit will be same, the mole per meter cube per second. We can also define rate equation in terms of the overall volume of the reactor. Like in case of a gas phase reactor, in which the volume of the reactor will be equal to volume of reacting material, because gas occupies same volume as the volume of vessel. So in that case we can use volume of the reactor as for our calculation, and in that case the rate equation will be equal to mole per meter cube per second. So if we compare all these rate equations, so like in first case this equation is divided by the volume of fluid, the second equation is divided by mass of solid, the third equation is divided by the surface area of the solid. So so if we multiply first equation by the volume of the fluid, the second equation by the mass of solid, the third equation is multiplied by surface area of the reacting material, then all these rate equations will be similar like this. So if we multiply first equation by the volume of fluid, the second equation by mass of the solid, third equation by surface of the solid, and so on, then all these equations, rate equations, will be equal. So this you can see in this equations also. So in this equation we can all these equations are similar. Now the speed of chemical reactions. The speed of chemical reactions defined how fast reaction is it. The reaction can be very fast or the reaction is very slow. So this is an example where some of reactions are very fast, on the other hand some of the reactions are very slow. For example, the cellular reaction, reaction, industrial water treatment plant, they are very slow reaction. On the other hand, reaction in jet engine or rocket engine or bimolecular reaction in which every collision count at about 1 atmosphere and 400 degrees centigrade, they are extremely fast reaction. Here its power 10 raised to power minus 10, here 10 raised to power minus 4 only. So you can see how much the difference in slow and fast reaction is. Now for designing a chemical reactor you need to apply mole balance on the reactor. So this is one of the example. For example, if you have a controlled volume in which a chemical reaction is occurring and you want to apply material balance on this equation, then the material balance will be equal to molar flow rate of species J into the reactor minus molar flow rate of species J out in the reactor plus molar rate of generation of species J equal to molar rate of accumulation of species J. Or you can say the rate of input will be equal to the rate of output, and if there is any generation or consumption of the species due to chemical reaction, then this term will be equal to rate of accumulation, the rate at which the species accumulate into the reactor. So in this way we can apply material balance. This will use while designing different type of reactor in our next classes. So this is end of today classes. If you have any question you can post it in the comment section. Thank you.